Good morning, everyone. Thanks for tuning in, of course. Now, make sure you subscribe to my channel, hit that like button, and make some comments. Let me know what you guys are doing, what you're up to. How are you working through these energies? Now, I'm going to be talking about what is coming up this week, September 20th to the 26th, every day. This is a huge week because this is when the solar eclipse is coming in. You're going to be outside checking out that eclipse. Well, some of you, anyways, right? How many of you are going to be outside? Make sure you take precautions during that eclipse time because it's also on the new moon in Virgo. Like, this is a huge, powerful week. Equinox coming in. Solar eclipse ends. The cycle and the door of opportunity ends on the 21st of September. So we're going to talk about, let's work through this energy. How can we really, really grab a hold of this energy at its finale? It does officially end on the 6th of October. You know, those are like the post shadow, as I call it, of the eclipse. So the doorway is still open, but it starts to go down every day after that. So it's time right now to really step it up, really make some changes. I did video on how to ask the eclipse for help, especially when you're struggling. Like, we all have stuff we're dealing with, we struggle with, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, like, Spirit, I need some help. Please, please give me a hand. Please show me the way, all of that. Now, for those of you who caught me on the last live clairvoyant psychic reading, as I started going back live here on YouTube, doing some free clairvoyant readings. So that was, oh, I don't even remember now. That was a few days ago. However, mark your calendars for October 24th. Circle that date. That's the next day I'm going live right here on YouTube, 12 noon Mountain Standard Time, 11 a.m. Pacific, or 2 p.m. Eastern, offering some free clairvoyant readings. So, of course, you can always book a private, personal one-on-one with me, soulworkwithjenny.com, okay? Because I give you full, explicit details and so on. Nothing's off the charts, I call it. Now, let's talk about this week's energy. Like this here, actually, I took this photo of September 8th of that full moon eclipse. Oh my gosh, it was like amazing. You can check out my photography, Jenny G Photography, if you want to check it out on Instagram. I'm all over, right? However, what are we going to do this week, you guys? How are we going to utilize this energy? Now, as we start off the week here in September 20th, we are moving over there to Libra season. You know what I mean? Libra's birthday's coming up this week, especially on the 22nd and 23rd. We move into Libra season. How many of you guys are Libras? Happy birthday, I'm just saying. We can celebrate ourselves every day. It doesn't have to be a birthday. However, certain times of the year, the energy works better with us. So as we're moving in on the 20th and the 21st, the solar eclipse in Virgo, new moon energy, holy smokes. Really look back. Look back to the beginning, or August 24th, when all of this started, especially these past couple of weeks. What has happened? The eclipse is life changing. It brings up situations that it's just not working. Like, what have you been struggling with? Like, really pay attention. It's just like, you know what, Jenny, I'm still struggling on these issues. Ask the spirit world, I'm open to receive help. I'm still struggling. I know I keep on dealing with this, but give me the strength and the willpower and the courage to work through this energy right now. I'm open, to meet new people. I'm open for you to show me the right direction. I'm open for more strength and courage, all of that. You know what I mean? And just surrender it, right? If we're the ones that are giving all the time, you blocked to receive. You really do. I give a lot, but there's a limit, where we have to set boundaries because we have to balance that giving and receiving. So this is a very karmic time right now. This is whole eclipse season has been very karmic as it is. A lot more truths are coming out. That's nothing new. As I'm always saying, this is about like more karmic relationships right now, too. There's a lot of endings. Karmic relationships can be endings with your spouse, your person. It could be, like work, your business relationships, relationships in general, karmically. So really take a look at, wow, you know what? I just don't connect with certain people. Like, I'm just like, wow, like I know my worth, or I'm not going to be treated like that anymore, or all of those things. And it doesn't matter who it is, it could be family karmic situations too, right? It could be anything karmic relationships in general, like Venus energy, relationships in general, more romantic, but relationships in general. So you're going to know who you don't connect with anymore, who it's like, wow, boy, we not on the same page. And that happens, as we evolve, as we grow, as we go through our journey, we start to change. Like I always say, what, I'm open for positive changes, especially 555, that sign, angel sign, that represents life changes. As minute I see that, I'm like, thank you, Spirit. I'm open for beautiful, positive changes. Thank you for bringing positive changes into my life every day. I am open. Do that. Really, really do that. Even though we can have that fear, because the eclipse brings in fear, because we can feel that change. How many of you guys have felt changed, right? Or a change or a big shift somehow. So this is where you guys have been seeing more of who your soul tribes are, right? Your soul connections. We've let go of certain people that we just don't connect with anymore, or we just don't get, or maybe we're just not on the same page as them, for whatever reason, right? When I release someone, let's say I release them with love, with light, wish them the best and happiness, all of that. I really do. We don't want to wish anybody any bad luck or any of this. Karma goes where we go. You can't run from situations. We really can't, right? This is when you should be forgiving yourself and forgiving others and so on and so on. You don't have to physically stand in front of them to do this. Work with this energy right now. Like you're literally going to see as certain karmic relationships are falling apart, the ones that you are connected with, there's a lot of love energy. There's a lot of unconditional love. You very well could even have more of a closer bond to your person. Maybe your person is like, let's step it up. I want to marry you, or let's move in together, or something like that. But you could be like, wow, that's really my person. Boy, we've sure been through a lot, but that's my person. That's my rock. Pay attention to not the illusion, But I love him. I'm going to do everything I can. I love her. I'm going to do everything I can. I understand that. However, if it doesn't resonate with you, if you're like, God, I don't want to do that, uh, you have to go in your comfort zone. And when something doesn't feel right, when you're like, you know what, this doesn't feel right for me, talk to your person. I'm always saying have that heart to heart connection with that person, with your person, always. But in order for me to keep her or him, I got to do this. Do you want to do that? No, I don't. Does it feel right? No. Does it bother you? Yes. Talk to your person. And if your person says, well, if you don't want to do that, then go away. Ask yourself, why are you staying? There are other people out there. There's somebody looking for someone just like you. Right? So this is when you're going to really want to prioritize what's really, really important during this eclipse. We all have different stuff going on or whatever, but really prioritize. You're like, wow, I gotta take care of this. Like, no matter what it is, you're going to know, what your priority is, like, no matter what area in your life. So this is when sudden changes again, like this whole entire eclipse season. For those of you who've been watching the series, that every single day is unexpected. I mean, I've had a few things happen to me, and I'm like, oh my God, you know. But it can be really good changes that you're like, Jenny, like, pay attention to this. We're not trying to hurt you. We're just trying to redirect you. We're just trying to put you on the right path. You're like, Oh my God. So really pay attention because it brings in balance in the end. It really does. The universe does want to help you and all of these things, but we got to work with it and trust it. I don't trust that. I get that. I swear and cuss to the universe every day. I really do, honestly. But then I'm like, okay, thank you for showing me that. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I don't like it, but thank you for showing me all of these things, right? Like seriously, trust is a huge thing. We might not trust other people or certain circumstances, right? However, we got to have that faith somewhere. We got to surrender. We got to say, let me review this situation. So this could be a very emotional eclipse, right? Like as you are getting the rude awakening, as I call it, of oh my God, I got to change that. Oh my God. But it's going to be so hard. Of course, changes can be really hard and challenging and all of those things. So pay attention because what you are seriously working on right now and have been working on, you are going to see more of those results in March and April. Or I mean, like, around March, the month of March, February, more insights coming in. But March, you're going to see it. So what you're working on now, pay attention to where you're going to be in March, right? So, these energies work with you, like seriously. So, even look back, and it's more emotional because as we're moving in on the 22nd and the 23rd, we're still in this energy here. The eclipse, it doesn't come one night and then it disappeared. No, 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 no. This energy lingers. So you probably found that your sleep has been off. Why it's at 2 o'clock in the morning and I'm still awake? All of those things, because the energy is that powerful, that powerful. So the new moon and solar eclipse both combined, it can be really emotional. It can be really like, oh, why am I feeling like all this energy? Just try to work with it and nap when you can and rest when you can. The sun enters Libra. Of course, as I mentioned, happy birthday, Libras. Who all out there is a Libra? We're also moving into the equinox. Here, we're going to be moving into the autumn equinox. So, for depending where you're at, you very well could be moving into the spring. Where are you guys at? Are you in the spring equinox now, or are you in the autumn equinox right now? Ask the moon for help. Like literally, the new moon is always more powerful because it's new, sudden endings, right? Deaths, more people are passing. So, and with the solar eclipse on top of this, I'm just saying, expect the unexpected again, right? Again and again and again. I'm open to unexpected, beautiful, positive changes, Spirit. Bring it on, right? Seriously, work with the energy, it works with you. So look back, as I mentioned, to the 24th of August. Look where you were then. What has happened? What has happened since then? What did you really learn? Like what happened? And this is a time to start new projects, by the way. Really pay attention to your creativity. You're going to want more balance. As the new moon and fades, we're going to be feeling like more balanced, more rested and stuff like that, right? It's just like, oh, thank God all that's over with. But this is the time, certain intense energies is to utilize the energy and take it, like take it in your hands full force because you're going to be more passionate. It could be very intense. You're going to be facing challenges more head on because it's like, okay, you weren't paying attention to all these other things. Boom. You're going to be like I have an appointment tomorrow, and I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God, God be with me. Right. However, spirit, I'm going to handle this situation with ease. It's going to flow. The day is going to be amazing no matter what. So you're going to start to face your fears even more because as we get that reality check of, oh my God, like, oh my God, you're going to start facing things even more and more and more. And just make sure you're not pushing anything. Like, don't push fast, force. Don't do that. It's not going to work with you. If you look back and review certain things, like, why isn't this happening right now? Like, oh my God, right? Give it a little bit of time to surrender it, let it go. Because when you look back on it, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I'm really happy that didn't happen. I'm really glad this door didn't open, relationship, job, like, like whatever it is. This is a time to embrace future goals. Really take a look at your future goals, especially during this eclipse. Every day has been a huge time to manifest whatever it is, your dreams, your hopes. It's very important. Keep writing it down, keep working on it every single day. Don't worry about how or when, none of that. Things come together at the right divine timing. Look at, okay, so these are my goals. This is what I want. Okay, what steps do I have to take to get there? Right? You know, write it down, write it down. Baby steps. Some people can jump into the deep waters and I'm going full force. For some people are like, oh my God, like go on your own rhythm, go on your own flow. Like your partner might say, let's get on this right now. Boom, 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 boom. And you're like, wait, that like, wait, go on your own flow. Slow and steady wins the race. So this is when you're going to want to get pulled towards, how I said, making changes. Maybe you're going to want to make new routines during your day or your week. Let me just kind of work around my schedule a little bit better. I just got these habits I'm doing and I don't like it. Switch it up. It's like write down this and that and then hit that button to shuffle. Well, gee, I used to do this first thing in the morning, but I'm going to now do that at 4 o'clock in the afternoon instead. I'm going to try to shift it up, see what works. Because you'll see once we start shifting things up, the energy starts moving. It's like if we don't move our body, everything stays stuck. Nothing moves around. So you're going to see as we get into the 24th, 25th, and 26th, Sun is also entering Pluto. So you're going to start letting go of like yourself doubting yourself, because what's happening with that eclipse, you've been facing things and you're going to be facing things. You're going to be a little bit more open to new ways of doing things, right? It's like, you know what? None of these other things here worked for me. I'm now open for the new. Ask spirit. I am open to new opportunities that are best for my higher self and the highest growth, my higher purpose, all of that. Show me the way, I'm open. So you're going to have more of an idea that, you know what, I got to start trusting this direction now. Like I've looked at what the delays were. I've looked at what's not working. I got to really start trusting this. I can now see. So you might even find during these 3 days that, you know what, I need some space. I just, I'm going to take some time for me. You're going to want to get, make sure you're grounded, maybe go for a hike, maybe go for a walk, get in touch with nature, get away from the noise, right? Noise of the city, or, turn your phones off. All of these different things. Have that quiet time, because the more quiet time we have, the more we're going to hear, the more your soul is going to speak to you. Your intuition is going to get louder and louder, because you're going to find that you are going to be like reflecting over past lessons. We all have lessons to learn and challenges, of course. So you're going to be finding, you know what, I'm doing a lot of reflecting what happened. You're still going to be healing. We have that Chiron energy, but the eclipse and all of this can bring up even more things, more painful, especially like childhood wounds and stuff like that, past memories of family hurts. Could be at any age, like it could be when you're 4 years old or when you're 10 or like any age, really. So pay attention to when certain things are coming up. Don't ignore it. Don't ignore it. Listen to your body, because your body has also been going through changes. It's not just because you're getting older, but yes, we get older. Don't even talk to me about that. Oh my God. But anyways, right? Your body has been going through a lot of changes itself. But oh my gosh, like yeah, pay attention, write it down. Different parts of our body represent different meanings and energy and such and such. So you're going to start to see that, wow, you know what, I want to declutter my garage. Your decluttering of the mind is most important. Decluttering your home environment, you're going to be like, you know what, I'm going to like work on this junk drawer today, or my closet. I'm going to start donating things, right? Like even here as we're moving in, as we're in the autumn, moving into the winter, that winter here can come in with a rude awakening in seconds where I'm at in Alberta, Canada. So I've been doing certain things to pre-plan for the winter. So I've been potting my plants, right? Like I had like a huge plant that's like 6 feet tall. And I'm like, oh my God, Jenny, you got to get on this now. You got to take this plant outside, get a proper pot for it. You know, it's growing like a weed. You got to do this now, like before the winter, because you're not going to want to be going outside and doing that. So there's certain things that, you know, you might be finding, you know what, I got to get this done before, you know, the winter starts, or, you know, like whatever it is, really pay attention to all of that because when things are more flowing and such, you know that you're on the right path. It's like, you know what, today's good. I was getting certain things done with more ease and everything like that. And you're especially going to be finding even more and have been seeing more of your soul's purpose. How many of you have just recently discovered your soul's purpose? You know, but Jenny, I'm like 50 years old, or I'm 40, or I'm 60, or like, there's no such thing as time and space of age. You know, sometimes we don't discover our purpose at all, you know. Like I've had, you know, like I remember this elderly man, I think he was like 80, 85, and I was in my early 20s and not there anymore. But he goes, you know what, Jenny, I've never found my purpose. But how do you know? Like it's clear to me who you are and your purpose and everything. You know, we all have our journey. We all have our own journey. And there's many reasons why we come back to Earth and are born here, you know, and I provide all of that information in my reading, you know, even past life. I recently did a past life reading with Thomas, you know, so you can watch that video. You know, my team posted it up there. You guys can take a look at what a past reading is. I'm doing a reading for him. You know, there's many reasons why we're born here. There's many reasons we do what we do, why we're connected with different people and relationships in our career and so on. It gives you a lot of insights, gives you a lot of information. And you might be feeling a little bit down, like, oh my God, I feel like such a failure. Like I keep struggling with this issue or this situation, or you know that. Don't give up. Like, don't give up. Spirit, I need your help. Please show me the way. I'm struggling. Please take my hand. Take me to where I'm supposed to be, or who, or all of that. I do that. Like I will do. Spirit, you know, like, come on. You know, when we start overthinking a situation, we don't see clarity because we're overthinking it. You know, take those baby steps to get there, right? Go on your own flow, but don't sit back. Start taking a little steps by little steps by little steps. You know, be open because you are going to feel more open to changes this week. You're going to feel more open to the new. Got new moon, solar eclipse, new. So seriously, like really, let's really work this energy. Like I do certain things on certain days. You know, as I mentioned, I'm like, oh, I'm not booking my appointment that day. Oh my God, no. Like, or can I book in this day, please? Right. And then when you do, you're going to be like, oh, days. You know, there's certain people I talk to during certain times, and I'm like, oh my God, we're actually talking on the solar eclipse. Like, oh my God, right? Like just certain things, right? So there's certain days with more energy than the next and so on. Like we're getting closer to year end here. Like, oh my God, right? Like, oh my God. And I'm putting classes together, by the way, to let you guys know. It takes time. There's going to be a few of them, right? Not just you for you to choose from. But anyways, so I'm just going to pull a couple of cards here. I do not use cards with someone because I'm a psychic clairvoyant medium. But because we are here on YouTube, I am going to use the deck to see what messages collectively, of course, the universe has to say for you. Some of you guys will be like, oh my God, I really connect with that card. That's for you. For some of you are not, right? So let's have a little chat with Colin Baron Reed, the Enchanted Map, right? What is the message from the 20th to the 26th from the spirit world? What is the message? right away. Peaks of joy. Gotta like this one. Looks like she's literally gonna take these glasses off. You might have even found too, by the way, that during the eclipse, your eyes were bothering you a little bit more. Last week especially, you could have been like, wow, my eyes are watery, or oh, they might look a little pink or tired, right? Like sometimes I'll have a little bit of water, like a tear coming down my eye, and I'm not crying. So what happens is that shows you that your mind is tired, right? Like it's like, okay, you need to rest, right? So peaks of joy. Now it shows this woman here. Oh, wow, there's a butterfly too. Let's take a look at that. Butterflies represents transformation. Look at that butterfly up there in the corner, right? She's flying free. She's transforming herself. So, up and away we go. This life changes is what the eclipse is all about. Moving into the autumn here, what happens during the autumn? It brings change. The leaves, of course, reminds us that change is in the air. And it's my favorite time of the year. So I've been out there doing photography already. I do that. It's part of my meditation, right? Oh, the other day it was just so magical. I was out and I met these two King Charles Cavalier Spaniels. I was just thinking Bella, my dog, would pass out of the blue. Two identical Blem King Charles Cavaliers dogs. Here they come. And I'm like, wow. So I talked to the owner for a little while. I put the picture up on Instagram. Jenny G Cousins follow me there on Instagram too. So it's very interesting. I'm an animal communicator as well. So it's very cool, the messages I got from that. So now, because this week as well, there's like soulmate connections. You're seeing more of who your person is. And also you are taking a look at, wow, this isn't my person. I got to end this. Karmic relationships, endings, and so on. So I'm going to have a little chat with the romance angels with Doreen Virtue. What messages for you? 20th to the 26th. Portland, Oregon, I'm hearing. 20th to the 26th. 20th to the 26th. It's a message from our romance angels. Message. It's a message. What's the message? Too many. What's the message from our romance angels? Now, this is a real interesting card, because right now, take a look at all of the energies. This isn't about, we're not going to go there. That would be too much. That would be too long. So this card here is finances and career. But how does that affect my love life? It does. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. So if you're working, it can cause a lot of problems for your partner, let's say. I mean, we have to work, and sometimes we get our busy seasons and so on. I don't have time to go out. I don't have time to date. I don't have time for this and that because I'm too focused on money. I'm too focused on my career, blah, 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 blah. We get that. However, you also have to make time and balance out your relationship as well. So, and if your partner's working and working and working, there has to be that understanding as well. So this is when the balance of giving and the balance of receiving is important. Well, I don't want this person, Jenny, because they're always working, I want somebody where I can, actually have more of a life with where we can do things, but they're always working. Is that very well could be your sign that maybe it's time for change. Maybe it's time to look at reality of this isn't my person. I don't want somebody who's working 24 hours a day. Or maybe you're like, you know what? You don't get my business. I'm self-employed, or I have a very busy schedule. Maybe I need to be with more of a partner who understands that. So this is when and where we have been shown what was not working, what is not working, and to make change. So, that happens, right? That happens. I'm just going to have another chat here, actually, with new moon energy too, by the way. Um, you know, make sure you're really got your vision boards up to date with your dreams and everything and your goals and what you want to manifest. New moons, of course, the manifesting, but this eclipse ends on the 21st. The doorway closes, right? So any resumes that you want it to get out, make sure you get all of them out before that. Like boom, 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 boom. Or get certain things done. It's like, wow, I want to do this and I want to do that. I don't know. Like make your inquiries, do research, get certain things done before, then surrender it. Doorway can start to open more and more and more. And it's like, why didn't I hear back from that job? Maybe that's just not your direction. Maybe the universe doesn't want you going in that because they're protecting you. There's reasons. But I wanted that job or I wanted to be with that person. You have to trust this. Really? You might not understand it now, but you will hear something about it. Or, you know, just saying. So let's have a little chat here with ancestor spirits, Jade Sky. Jade Sky. What's the energy and the message here? It's the energy. Many cards. It's the energy and message from the 20th to the 26th. Like God, next Cosmic Vibes video after that, we are in October. Right? Message, the message, 20 to the 26th. Okay. Enjoy music. Instruments, sound, and tone. Maybe some of you have been drawn to get more creative. Maybe some of you are musicians. This is a time, as I mentioned, to be very creative. Music as well is also very healing. If you're going through a breakup, let's say, or something very sad, you might find that you're listening to more certain sounds. You might find you're listening to songs about breakups to help you heal and let go. But if you're really depressed, listen to some uplifting music, right? If we're listening to sad songs, we're going to stay in that zone. So it's like, you know what? I gotta change my vibrational frequency. Like I chant every day. I have for, oh my God, many years, like over 30 years, like, oh, it could be longer, right? I'm not a young chicken anymore. But, right, uplifting music, right? Put some uplifting music on. What happens? Your energy starts changing. Maybe you guys need to do a meditation where you need that calm Zen type music. Healing is so important, as we continue the rest of this year, as, maybe some of us have had a lot of, like different family members or friends that have passed away that we're still grieving and so on. A lot of people are leaving, as we can clearly see, so never take anybody for granted because things can happen really quickly and suddenly during the eclipse, of course, boom, sudden this, sudden that. I mean, that's going to continue on, but certainly seasons, boom, 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 things happen very quickly, right? So now, how many of you guys liked the video? How many of you guys are subscribed? How many of you guys are going to be tuning in to the next live, October 24th? I'm going to be right here live on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to my, Instagram channel, Jenny G Cousins as well. There's a lot of content that go up there. And so like I'm all over social media, just put my name in. You will find me all over the place, literally. So make some comments. Let me know what's going on with you guys. This is a huge, powerful, transformational time. Let's utilize this energy to the fullest and step it up a few notches. Until then, love and light to you.